The fridge hummed quietly in the tiny Hong Kong apartment, its unassuming exterior hiding a grotesque secret. Inside, neatly packed lunchboxes held something unimaginable, remains of a murder so chilling it left an entire city in shock. But what could drive a seemingly ordinary son to not only kill his parents, but to dismember and cook their bodies? Was it a twisted desire for freedom, deep-seated resentment, or something darker lurking within? As police unraveled the case, they discovered a tale of manipulation, mental instability, and chilling confessions that would haunt them forever. What truly happened behind closed doors that day? In the bustling neighborhood of Tai Kok Tsui, Hong Kong, the lives of Glory Chow Wing Ki and Moon Sui Yi, an elderly couple seemingly enjoying their golden years, came to a horrific and tragic end. On what was presumed to be March 1st, 2013, their ordinary world was shattered in an unimaginable way. Their youngest son, Henry Chow Hoi Leung, just 29 years old, and his friend, 35-year-old Angus Se Chun Kei, would soon stand at the center of a case that shocked the city. At first, Henry and Angus maintained their innocence. They played the part of concerned family and friends, denying any involvement. But as the police dug deeper, the mask began to slip. Chilling details emerged during their interrogations. Henry confessed to a crime so grotesque it was hard to comprehend. After killing his parents, he and Angus dismembered the bodies. What came next was even more macabre. The remains were salted and cooked, a grotesque attempt to make them resemble barbecue pork. Portions were stored in lunchboxes and tucked away in a refrigerator, as if trying to erase the humanity of their victims. This brutal act captivated and horrified Hong Kong, dominating headlines and discussions in homes, workplaces, and schools. On March 20th, 2015, the case reached its grim conclusion in the courtroom. High Court Deputy Judge Michael Stewart Moore declared Henry Chow guilty of the double murder. His friend Angus Tsay was acquitted of the murders, but not without suspicion. The judge didn't mince words when describing Henry, labeling him an extremely dangerous man and an actor who could deceive anyone who crossed his path. Henry Chow, born on June 7, 1983, struggled with deep resentment toward his parents from a young age. Forced to learn piano by his mother and dominated by his impatient father, Henry's emotional difficulties led to academic failure and a sense of inadequacy. After failing the Hong Kong Certificate of Education examination, his parents sent him to study in Australia, where he faced bullying and discrimination, further deepening his emotional scars. By the time he returned to Hong Kong in 2003, Henry had become withdrawn and resentful. Angus Se Chun Kei, a gentleman of Macanese descent, had a tragic past marked by betrayal and failed suicide attempts, leaving him with brain damage and a slowed mental capacity. By 2013, he seemed resigned to muddle through his days. On March 12th, after reporting his parents missing, Henry Chow and his brother learned from police that there were no records of their parents leaving Hong Kong. Desperate, they created a Facebook page, My Missing Dad and Mom, pleading for help. But the truth emerged when, during a police interview on March 14th, Henry secretly confessed in a WhatsApp group. The next day, Henry and Say were arrested for the brutal murder and dismemberment of Henry's parents, carried out in Sea's flat. What followed was even more shocking. Henry left the crime scene, only to return 4 days later. By then, Se had already dismembered the bodies. He had salted and refrigerated the remains to demoisturize them, transforming their appearance in the process. Henry claimed his role was limited to the killings, while Se handled the gruesome task of disposing of the bodies. Initially, Se had attempted to disguise the body parts as construction materials, encasing them in cement and sand. When this proved too difficult, he settled on a plan both chilling and bizarre, cooking the remains to make them resemble char siu, or barbecued pork. Some parts were discarded in the sea, while others were hidden in refrigerators. When investigators searched the scene on March 15th, they found the decapitated heads of Glory and Moon in 2 separate refrigerators. Alongside them were microwaved flesh stored in lunchboxes and bags containing chopped limbs. The evidence painted a gruesome picture of the crimes that had unfolded. Henry Chow's reasons for committing such a heinous act revealed his twisted mindset. In video interviews shown to the jury, Henry described his father as arrogant, a man who left him without a moment of peace. He claimed his mother constantly looked at him with disappointment, especially when he failed to contribute to the family. "I thought that if I could resolve the emotional connection with my parents, it would be a solution," he said coldly. "If they died, I could be reborn." Henry blamed his parents for his failures in life, from his struggles in school to his inability to find success as an adult. He cited his father's loud television habits and his mother's strict piano lessons as sources of torment. Even moments of humiliation, like being scolded in front of a girl he liked, fueled his deep-seated resentment. This hatred, years in the making, culminated in one of Hong Kong's most disturbing murder cases. By August 4, 2014, the courtroom was abuzz as the Court of First Instance convened for the trial of Henry Chow and Angus Tsai. The case, already infamous for its macabre details, attracted significant media attention. Chow and Tsai stood side by side as defendants, their fates to be decided by a jury of 7. However, the emotional toll of the case soon became evident. Within the first week, one juror was dismissed, leaving only 6. Then another juror pleaded for dismissal, citing unbearable psychological stress. The weight of the evidence was too much to bear. High Court Deputy Judge Michael Stuart Moore made a difficult decision on August 13th, announcing that the trial would start afresh with a new jury of 9. The trial resumed in February 2015, and as the proceedings unfolded, it became clear that this was more than just a story of murder. It was a clash of narratives. Henry Chow's defense focused on his mental state, presenting him as a man driven by psychological instability. His lawyer, Nicholas Adams, argued for diminished responsibility, pointing to Chow's history of mental health issues. On March 9th, psychiatrist Chung Ka-fai testified for the defense, diagnosing Chow with bipolar disorder and obsessive-compulsive disorder. Dr. Chung shared insights into Chow's struggles, describing years of suicidal thoughts triggered by failures in college, romantic rejections, and unemployment. The prosecution argued that Chow's actions were calculated, emphasizing his meticulous planning, multiple confessions, and manipulation of others. Psychiatrist Louis Sing-hung presented an IQ test showing Chow's superior intelligence, 126, compared to Tsai's, 84, suggesting that Chow may have manipulated or framed Tsai. On March 20th, 2015, after intense testimony, Judge Michael Stuart Moore found Chow guilty of double murder, describing him as extremely dangerous and an actor who deceived others. Chow was sentenced to life imprisonment. Tsai, with diminished mental capacity, was acquitted of murder but convicted for preventing lawful burial and sentenced to 1 year. After serving 2 years on remand, Tsai was released, leaving lingering questions about the darkness within the human psyche. The chilling details of this case linger like a shadow, leaving us questioning the depths of human nature. How does resentment fester into such unimaginable violence? Could mental illness alone explain these actions, or were there signs ignored by those around them? Henry Chow's cold, calculated confessions and Angus Tsai's tragic descent paint a haunting picture of lives unraveling in the darkest ways. As the courtroom closed its doors on this case, the echoes of what happened behind those apartment walls remain. Was justice truly served, or are there pieces of this twisted puzzle still missing? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more gripping stories like this.